Hey, shalom, 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 lakam, with this peace unto you all. Ha'ay Rob Tawab La Atham Za'akyakam Yawam Man Rakhagador Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yawam from the GMS camp in Charlotte. And Chamatham Kaya Hamalakwat Hashemayim Kwa Ra, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La La Abanawi Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua Bahasham Rakhak Wadash Wa Mashana Lazaquanim Na Wa Malakim Shor Rakhagador, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists, Bahasham, in the name Yahweh Shai, he lives in double honor, so and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, so a couple days ago, I went into Isaiah 14, verses 1 to 6, and I wanted to pick back up at verse 7. I'm going to start from verse 6 again. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. You see, I'm going to read this in the NLT. All right, and it says, you struck the people with endless blows of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny. And that's essentially how Esau runs the world. He runs the world in wickedness. He overuses things. He pretty much misuses his servants. And he's been found lacking righteousness. Continuing on, verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. All right, because the scripture said, I'm going to get it real fast. This is Mashalia Proverbs, chapter 11. We'll get verse 21, and it said, or verse 10. And it says, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth. And essentially, pursuant to Bon Sirach, the 10th chapter, it said, the city shall be inhabited by righteousness. So that's why the city will rejoice. All right. It says, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. And this word perish goes into Ranan or Rana. And it says Rana, and it says ringing cry, Salah. All right, going back to that word Rana. And it says supplication, joy, praise. Hey, so when the wicked perish, it's going to be shouting. All right, and it says, verse 11, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted. All right, I'm going to go into this word for exalted. And it says Rawam, and it says to be exalted, uplifted. And it says Salah. It says promoted. It says figuratively or literally, and if something is raised, it's thriving, because right now, Esau has it to where, it says to show one powerful. Or you show one powerful. It says arise to grow. So the city's going to be inhabited, like it mentions in Bon Sirach. I'm gonna get that real fast. Actually, I'm gonna go back to this. It says to raise, make high, hence to build a house. So something's going to be inhabited. Literally or figuratively. A house is going to be inhabited. Being the earth. The earth is going to finally be thriving. I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Bon Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1, and it says. I go right to the point. Verse 3, it says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. All right, and the city is just, a place, which it can be likened to a house, so the city is going to be exalted, which hence will be that house being built. It's going to be raised up. It's going to grow. The earth is finally going to, when the Lord restores everything, it's going to yield its full strength. So it says, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. And the scriptures say that pretty much his tongue walketh through the earth, roughly paraphrasing, you see. So and we see what his tongue walking through the earth has gotten the earth, it's gotten the earth destroyed. His tongue walking through the earth, essentially going to his policies, his ideologies, his ways of life, and his words, his literal words. Esau talks death, or he spreads death. So that's what's pushed forth in the earth. All right, and we see this by way of different policies. He'll have he'll sign different papers and allow for essentially let me see, like the different labor yards in the sea and stuff like that. He'll have it to where they're spilling trash, oil. Taking the he'll sign legislation to where they're taking out the shrimp out the sea. So pretty much going back to this precept right here where it says, and when the verse 11 says, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked, because the wicked is going to spread those wicked ideals. All right. So going back to verse 7, it says the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They break forth into singing, and that's because essentially the Lord is going to restore, the earth. It says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. Which the actual cedars of Lebanon, they was cut down back in the ancient world, you see. But this is going into Babylon, because or Salak is going into the wicked, because pretty much the elites, they essentially they run Babylon. And they're the ones that are responsible for all of the destruction in the earth. While your common day Edomites, they destroy things. They're wicked as well. You see, but it's chiefly Amalek. They're the ones that's spearheading this. It says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee. Because the fir trees, these are evergreens. The evergreens purify the air. And Esau is taking these down. And that word should be barawash. And it says a cypress. It says a cypress. All right, and it says a cypress tree, a tall tree. It says together with the cedar. Salak. It says that the cypress, not the fir, is to be understood. It's clear both from the nature of the case and also the authority of ancient virgins, although this name may perhaps have comprehended also trees of the pine kind. And if I'm not mistaken, the pines and like evergreens and stuff like that, they actually purify the air. So I'm gonna go back real fast, get this in the NLT, and it says even the trees of the forest, the cypress trees and the cedars of Lebanon, sing out this joyous song. Since you have been cut down, no one will come down. Since you have been cut down, no one will come now to cut us down. You see, which represents the actual trees, and then also the people. Aim in Hebrew is people. So the actual people too. Because how Esau runs the earth, essentially he cuts people down. He destroys them. So continuing on, verse 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All right, I'm going to read that again. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. You see, which the dead talking about the other nations. And it says, hell from beneath is moved from thee for thee to meet thee at thy coming. You see, because essentially this man is going to be taken down. He's going to be brought back to the basis of men. All right, and it says, I'm going to get a precept for that as well. This is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 2 and verse 11. And it says, the lofty looks of man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Hey, so Esau is going to be brought low, All right, going back to Isaiah chapter 14, and we'll get verse 9, and it says, even all the chief ones of the earth it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All right, I'm gonna get Obadiah chapter 1, and we'll get verse 7, and it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right, so essentially, all the other nations are essentially making these different pacts and treaties to come up against Esau, Edom, behind his back, All right, this is Isaiah 14, and we'll get verse 10. And it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? I'm going to get a precept real fast. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, verse 1, it says, thus saith the Lord. So like the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Adawam. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen, arise and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. All right, pretty much going back to this precept right here, Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 14 and verse 9, and it says, verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? art thou become like unto us, you see. So pretty much these other nations, they're seeing that Babylon is being pretty much is being stripped of that power, pursuant to Isaiah the 47th chapter, you see. But then also these elites, they no longer can hide behind they can no longer hide behind the lies, the treachery, the deception. The scriptures say, I'm gonna get that real fast. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 17, and it says, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. So this devil's being exposed, he's being exposed, because essentially they was able to keep themselves up as if they was high and lofty and stuff like that. Babylon was able to hide behind, the witchcraft and stuff like that, you see. But Babylon can, no longer hide. Babylon is pretty much being exposed for the filth, and these elites essentially are being exposed for all the lies, rape, robbery, and murder that they have perpetrated throughout the earth. All right, verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. It says thy pomp. All right, pretty much when you go to the word for pomp, it should be rawam, all right, or ga'awan, which pretty much means pride. All right, ga'awan goes back to the Hebrew word ga'a or ga'awa, which goes into the pride. And Esau feel as if, since he got that position, he feel like he can't be touched. All right, this is Ezekiel, Chazak Allah, chapter 28 and verse 1. It says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, behold, thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, I sit in the seat of power in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not power. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of power, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. And scripture say this man's heart is deep, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Because Esau has done a diligent search. He's went to these different societies, the ancient civilizations, collected, gold, silver, precious stuff, precious jewels, and pretty much got what he has, all of his, like I said, the gold, the silver, and the treasures. Yeah, pretty much going into the treasures. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. All right, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of power. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. So essentially, Esau is being exposed. Again, he can't hide behind his deception. Babylon's being exposed, and then also, these so-called elites, the lies and the treachery and stuff like that. All right, this truth is casting down those imaginations that the masses were once fooled by. This man's witchcraft ain't working like it used to. You see, so I wanted to go into Shana again, Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 7 to I ended at verse 11, and I'll pick it back up. I don't want to Zah Shabawai this week. So I don't want to Zah Zabanaya Paulo, so there's a beautiful edification to the spirit. While I don't want to Zah Atam Yash Laila